after I got saved, so I'm used to talking to kids about their genitals, so you don't make me afraid. My name is Kara. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ.
Hi, Kara.
But this is what made me afraid, okay? It took me forever to do this, and I'm going to tell you, the songs I picked tonight, I hit poor Ann like a Gatling gun. I say, here's a song, here's a song, here's a song, here's a song. Pick what you want, Ann. So Ann also is the person that was behind a lot of the songs. But now to me, okay? I was born in Tucson almost 68 years ago. I'm a native Arizonan. I was the middle child of 5 kids, okay? I had a brother on each end and 3 girls in the middle. Now, most of you don't know my dad and my mom. In fact, none of you do because Bruce isn't here. My daddy was an atheist or an agnostic. I don't know which is which, but he didn't believe in God, okay? He was raised mostly on his own and never had any faith in God. In fact, until the day he went into a coma, and he was in a coma for probably about a week. I don't know where my daddy was, but I talked to him a lot. So you don't have to worry, Cassandra. I probably won't cry. I laugh a lot, but I don't cry. But he was raised on his own, and so he was kind of a tough guy. This said, I'm thankful to God for my dad. And I got to tell you something. My dad had a temper, but he never beat me, and he never molested me. And when I came to CR almost 3 years ago, it'll be 3 years in September, and I didn't come for myself because I didn't have any problems. Okay? I want y'all to know I wasn't here because I had problems, okay? I had it all together. I got saved almost 40 years ago, and I had turned it all over to the Lord. So I was good, okay? But I'm thankful for my dad because he taught me so much. You know, he taught me to talk a lot, can you tell? Now, before you judge my dad, I got to tell you, my mother talked every bit as much. Now, my mother was codependent, so she let my daddy get away with a lot of stuff. She was a spiritualist. Mama wasn't a believer either, but toward the end, I think she came to Jesus. And she was just really a wonderful woman. Everybody loved my mother. She lived at the apartment complex over on Bonita Vista. They call it Bonita Vista, which is a low-income senior citizens place. And she and I got together, and we used to actually put on all of the holiday dinners for the senior citizens. And my mother would wheel in her little chair all over the complex in making sure everybody would come. So if you ever wonder where I got it, like I said, my daddy was a talker and so was my mother. So I got a double shot of mouth, okay? So that's just the way it is. And you can ask Bruce, except he can't be here tonight. My husband couldn't be here tonight because I voluntold him to be on the Whetstone Fire Department, and he's ended up in a big mess. So he was kind of sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but I'm thankful that Ann's recording it. But just to let you know, I was talking a lot before I was 2 years old. I was actually known as the Hedda Hopper of the neighborhood, and if you're not old and you don't know who Hedda Hopper was, she was a gossip columnist, man. I knew everybody in the neighborhood. I knew what their daddy did, where he worked, how many kids they had, and at the dinner table at night I entertained everybody. But I came from the Leave It to Beaver era. You know, June and Ward Cleaver, they were all, June was perfect. I mean, she was just this mamby-pamby little wife. That wasn't me, ask Bruce. We've been married for 43 years. I'm the mouth from the south. The first thing that when he ever interrupted me, just knocked my socks off. I couldn't believe he interrupted me. But anyways, as a child, we did go to Sunday school, I remember, and it was a Presbyterian church. But in 1963, and I was born in 53, so I was almost 10 years old, right before my 10th birthday. We moved to California, and that was the end of that practice. We never went to church again. We were poor because my daddy, his biggest fault was he was always looking for a ship to come in, and he never did find the harbor, much less get on the ship. So we were always poor. He kept quitting jobs. He'd get into a fight with his employer or a supervisor. And in fact, when he was in the Army Air Corps, they very nicely asked him at Davis-Monthan to please leave, and they'd give him an honorable discharge if he'd just go away. That he really wasn't conducive to military service because he liked to argue. And again, he taught me to question stuff. And I am so glad for that ability. I mean, even, and I'll get to that in a little bit, he was instrumental and me questioning the Bible and looking into the Bible. But anyway, my daddy was kind of a flaky kind of person, and my mother was an only child, so they wanted lots of kids because my dad grew up in the foster care system. Well, he was actually on his own by the time he was 12, but he had a very traumatic childhood that left him pretty angry. But again, he never really beat us, he just yelled a lot. But my mother came from a family where she was the only child, and when she married this good-looking Serb, where is Ella tonight? My dad was a Serb, Ella's from Russia. Anyway, my maiden name was Stefanov, and my mother, when she married him, it really broke my grandparents' heart because they knew he was going to kind of have a weird life, and she was. So it was because of my grandparents that we a lot of times had Christmas or we got birthday gifts. We just didn't have a lot of money, and we were homeless at times, living with other people. But no matter how poor we we were taught to be honest. We were never even allowed to snitch a bulk candy out of that Brock's thing. My mother would not put up with that. We couldn't even take a grape off a thing. She taught us to be honest and to be truthful. So if you don't want to know the truth, don't hang out with me, right, Cassandra? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. You guys that know me know I will tell the truth.